Okay, this is a piecewise function, very similar to what we've done in class. Let's take a look at this first piece right here. F of x is 2x plus 4, and notice what I have underlined here. I'm only interested in what this part of the graph looks like at x values less than -2. So we know this is a line with a y-intercept of 4 and a slope of 2, but again, I'm only interested in what it looks like from here and onward to the left. So at -2, even though it's not including that, but let's see what at -2, this part of the function is 0. So I'm going to go ahead and just plot that point. There we go. And at -3, again, because it's values of x less than -2, so at -3, it's -2. So here we go. Oh. Trying to make that point. All right. And again, I can use the slope and go down 2 and to the left, down 2 and to the left. Or I can just, let me evaluate this at one more point. What does this look like at -4? Well, at x is -4, my y value is -4. -4 is a point on this part of the graph. So there we go. And I'm going to go ahead and just draw my line there. So that's what that graph looks like. Now here it would be an open circle because x is -2 is not included. But as you can see in this next part, it is a closed circle at -2, so it doesn't matter. But just as we discussed in class, if the inequality does not include the number, we're going to leave it an open circle. But for the next part, it doesn't matter. So for this part, x squared minus 4, now that's a parabola, right? So we know, just to kind of remind ourselves, I can go off to the side here, we know that that looks like that, right? With a vertex of -0, -4. But again, we're only interested in what this graph looks like from -2, which is right here, to +2, which is right here. So we can plot some points, but remember, we know that this is a parabola, so these points, when we connect them, we're going to keep that in mind and not make it look linear. Make sure it has that curvature. Okay, so at -2, this is 0, and that point's already plotted. I just erased it. Here we go. Okay. And at -1, that's -3. I'll go ahead and plot that point. At +1, it's -3, and at 2, it's 0 again. So I'm going to go ahead and plot these points. Oh, let me try and get that. There we go. And the last part of the graph, this part, is a linear function, 1/2 of x minus 1, of values greater than or equal to 2. So if I plot 2 here, if I evaluate this function at 2, well, 1/2 of 2 is 1, and 1 minus 1 is 0. So again, this part's included. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of darken that. Oh, okay. And I can use my slope. I can either evaluate this at different points, evaluate this function at 3 and 4 and 5, since those are all x values greater than 2, or here I can use the slope and say, okay, the slope says that from this point on the graph, I'm going to go up 1 and over 2. And I can go up 1 and over 2 again. So let's see. Oh, where am I? Okay, I just paused the recording because it was really tricky to make these points with my stylus. But again, from this point to 0, I use the slope up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, and this last function, that's what that line looks like. And if the slope, using the slope confused you, you can just plot points. At 2, I would use even numbers since we're dealing with a 1/2 here. At 2, it's 0. At the point 4, it's 1. At the point 6, the y value is 2. And there's your piecewise function. Okay, I hope this helps.